Thank you, PS. With your team,
Recording in progress.
we'll come you back. We comply with immunity in accordance with Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which gives you immunity as you make submission before this honorable committee. Honorable colleagues, we were on contract for supply delivery of 3 X-ray machines for Kitwe Teaching Hospital and non-functional mobile X-ray machines for Solwezi Hospital. You can proceed and ask questions on the aforesaid. Thank you. You can proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm looking at the response which is on page 10, and first of all I'm wondering whether this response was complete as it is, because I've seen some dots where you meant to put the amount that was disbursed for the procurement of the X-ray detector, but you just left dots there. I don't know if it is for the committee to fill in the gaps or you meant to confirm. So if you meant to put a figure here, please announce to the committee how much was released for the procurement of the X-ray detector. But for me, Chair, my question is that based on this response, the X-ray was tested and later on it was observed that the X-ray detector could not switch on, which indicated that the machine was non-functional. And the PS is because of the fragile nature of these X-ray detectors, they are always excluded from the defect liability period within contracts in case of malfunction. Now, when did you know? Because in your response you are saying you reached out to the supplier, you engaged the supplier during the defect liability period, knowing very well again that the X-ray detectors are not part of the contract when they break down because they are fragile. But when you reached out to the supplier, it was with what intention? To come and fix when you know that this particular component is not part of the defect liability period in case of any malfunction. It seems people didn't understand what they were doing here. They didn't understand even what the contract included or excluded. And then you can also confirm, because you have rushed to talk about buying 26 new X-ray machines, particular one, whatever amount you released to procure the detector, was it released and bought? Is it functioning now? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. You can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is just a rider on Honorable Mwila's question. I also, is it possible for the PS to show the committee the evidence of when the supplier, the ministry notified the supplier of the machine developing errors, the correspondence that went back and forth between the ministry and the supplier in relation to the same machine? Thank you.
Thank you. PS, you can proceed with those 2 questions.
Thank you very much, Chair. Starting with the first one where Honorable asked on the dots, we apologize. I think we did an addendum to just show that we forgot. When it went to the printers, we forgot to put the amount. So we wrote a letter to show that an addendum to show the amount that was missing there. The amount was 263,472 kwacha.07. That's the amount there. Then for the other questions where whether we knew why we called the supplier of the defects that we found on the X-ray, I'll just ask the PhD Solwezi to say something.
PhD Solwezi, you can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. The odd query on the detector, non-functioning detector at Solwezi General Hospital. Chair, you may wish to know that it was on one of my routine visits and checking on the operation of the hospital. that I went to Solwezi General Hospital, and I was briefed that this kind of X-ray had stopped functioning because of the problem arising from the detector. I did walk into the X-ray department and saw the problem myself. I called the procurement to give us an understanding of how much it would cost us as a hospital if we could procure it. They did, after a few days, got back to me that this detector was not available on the Zambian market, and it was unique because it had to be sourced from where the machines could come from, that is outside the country. We asked to see if they can get hold of the suppliers outside and how much it could cost. They came back to me and showed me the amount of money that could be involved. We interrogated the financial status of the hospital, if at our local level we could be able to procure this detector. Unfortunately, the amount was beyond the financial status of the hospital. Then I did guide that they needed to write through my office, so that we write to the ministry to help us procure this detector. And they did that, and I conveyed the letter to the office of the PS to help us fund this, the procurement of this detector. We did just that, and we had to wait for the response. Fortunately, we got a favorable response from the ministry. The PS assured us that they are going to help us procure this detector. As it stands now, the ministry has informed the Provincial Health Office that money is readily available so that the procurement of this detector can be done. Chair, as regarding to the earlier question, is this machine working? As it stands now, it's not working because we haven't yet procured the detector, but money has been sought. I submit, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kambita. Honorable Mwamba, has your question been answered?
Chairperson.
Okay. Proceed, Honorable Kambita.
Chairperson, I would like to bring the House to, I'd like to seek the House's attention to the nature of the audit query. Permanent Secretary, I seek your attention. The nature of the query is, what the auditor is querying is these machines which were bought at such colossal amounts of money, and then they are found not working within a short period of time. And I think that we need to understand that within a short period of time, within the warranty period, the machine is not working. And the auditor is asking, what have you done about recovering the cost of having this machine work from the supplier? Because this can happen again. Even if we were to replace it within the whole X-ray machine, if it fails within less than 6 months, we would be perpetuating the same problem. So we need to deal with this issue of the machine being non-functional within a short period of time of procurement. I think this is what you should be answering to. The other issues, Chairperson, which the witness is submitting on, the PhD from Northwestern, are not addressing the question. So let's have an answer from the Permanent Secretary concerning this contract. Because the issue here is about the contract. Why has the supplier been left scot-free after supplying machines that are not functioning? And then we should be looking for a budget line to make the machines work. I think that's the question. Chairperson, let's stick to the question, the audit query.
Thank you. Honorable Mkumbi.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, in addition, if you look at the the Auditor General's thing right up there. They're saying the machine was under 1 year warranty, which expired on 8th January 2025. And PS response, she's saying, however, the committee may wish to note that X-ray detectors are very sensitive and fragile in nature, and they are always excluded from defect liability periods within the contract framework. So which is which? The machine was on warranty. At the same time, you are saying it was excluded. So who was supposed to pay for it? We believe this is a new machine, and it was still under warranty. Why was not serviced by the supplier?
PS, you can proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think we did not answer the committee correctly, because we are saying on one end that it was outside the warranty period. On the other side, we are saying it was the warranty period had elapsed, so we had to repair the X-ray on our own. I think I'll allow PhD to just explain. And then on the supplier, I understand the letter to the supplier was written, the question asked by Honorable. We wrote the letter, and I think it was availed to the auditors. That's what my officers are saying. The letters written to the supplier concerning the defective X-ray were given to the auditors. I'll ask a PhD to just explain on that anomaly of the liability period.
PhD can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. On the liability period, which I also thought when an equipment is procured, it should come with the whole package during that liability defective period. But this learning about this part of the equipment being excluded, it's something that I think we need maybe procurement to guide us, the nature of the contract and how it was, because these machines are procured centrally at the ministry headquarters. I submit, Chair.
We are now at C. Yet again, on a very straightforward PS. It's a straightforward matter. Honorable Amnyuma.
Chair, the failure to pursue a warrant to the supplier, I don't understand the explanation. Does the procurement have a copy of the warranty that we can see before this committee? The submission by the PhD is that this particular component is excluded from the warranty. So isn't it part of the X-ray? The warranty is the whole machine. So I have never heard such a thing where certain components. Does procurement have a copy of the warranty before this committee? And just perhaps, Chair, would like some guidance from Auditor General, where the client is saying that they showed the Auditor General their correspondence with the supplier. So where is that correspondence?
Thank you. PS is the issue of the warranty. Maybe the custodians can explain to us, and your officers alluded to the fact that these procurements are done centrally, because we'd want to understand to what extent is a warranty according to. Oh, this is emanating from your submission. Then I'll allow Auditor General to comment on the, since they were on the ground, they can give us a actual status and what they found and if there are any correspondences. So PS, you can proceed to answer Honorable Wamnyuma's question.
Thank you very much, Chair. It's true for the warranty to be the whole machine. I don't think components have different warranty, but I'll ask procurement to just confirm if we have the warranty for the whole machine. Thank you.
Thank you, procurement. You can proceed.
Thank you very much, PS, and thank you very much, Chair. We'll
maybe with the indulgence of this committee, I think as the PS had indicated, it looks like I think when responding to this query, I think we had focused on a different area. So we didn't really dwell much on the warranty. So I think it's a case of us going back just to verify and check with the documentation, and we can try and avail the documents to this committee since we still have a couple of days with your interactions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Auditor General, you are on the ground. Maybe a comment on the aforesaid. Thank you.
Yeah, before I answer in affirmative, when you look at the response, the PS saying the observation made by the auditors regarding the non-functional mobile X-ray machine at Solwezi is acknowledged, meaning I think they had agreed to this observation. However, I'll still, my colleagues, in case those who are in the field, to just confirm whether we are given a copy of a warranty. Mr. Chitumbo.
Mr. Chitumbo, you can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. We don't have a copy on our file right now, but in our text, we have indicated the fact that the machine was under a 1-year warranty, which expired on 8th January 2025, meaning we must have seen a document that spoke to that effect.
Honorable colleagues, that's a submission from Auditor General. Honorable Kambita.
Just a follow-up, I think Auditor General, kindly help us. And the communication between the witness and the supplier, did you have any sight at such communication where it demonstrated the impossibility of recovering costs of bringing that machine back into original status of its functioning?
Thank you. Just a clarification, I think. That's just a point of clarification. Auditor General.
Chair, as the response from my colleague, I think the issue is that we saw some documents to that effect, but maybe I think if we stick to what the query, we were wondering why it couldn't be repaired, because I think that is where the gist of the query is.
Yes, this is a very straightforward issue. I don't know why your PhD is failing to put us to speed, because we're not making good progress. In the way questions are being answered, progress is it's not flowing. So maybe...
Sorry, Chair. Further, would like, in response to Honorable Kambita, we didn't see the communication. I think
thank you. Honorable colleagues, let's have position on this matter. I think we'll still be going around circles. Contract for design, construction and equipping of 3 district hospitals and 115 mini hospitals. Any questions? Honorable Amnima can proceed.
Chair, I want to understand this construction of mini hospitals. Perhaps just some guidance on what's the cost of each hospital here.
Okay. Thank you. Honorable Daka.
Chair, I think we are referring to the 4 mini hospitals that were supposed to have been constructed in Lufanyama, Mpongwe, Lusaka and Mfumbwe that have not commenced. But so we want to find out, Chair, whether the 4 million will be sufficient, Chair, because from our understanding, the payments have been made in full. So the committee would want to find out if the $4 million will be sufficient to construct the 4 remaining mini hospitals. I submit, Chairperson.
Thank you. Honorable Kabita. Honorable Daka, I can switch off the mic.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think the nature of the query here is, paying, which I think the auditors are being a bit economical with words here, making payments which are not supported by IPCs. Because when you look at this $300 million paid to the contractor, and then they go on the ground, they find the facilities that have been paid for are incomplete, and they analyze them. We've been given the details of those that are not completed. So, on what basis, Permanent Secretary, were these payments made to that tune? Because it's not clear that this payment was made in line with the traditional way of paying for such contracts, where IPCs are presented and then you pay. Here we are, out of a $300 million worth of a contract, there's only $1 million remaining. And yet, when the auditors went to the ground, they find that these number of facilities, you can name them, Lufanyama, Mpongwe, what these ones here, are incomplete. So, on what basis were these payments made, if not on the IPCs as per the way contracts are managed?
Thank you. PS, you have 3 questions. Honorable Amnima is asking the cost of each of these mini hospitals. The aforesaid for the 3, Lufanyama, Mpongwe, Lusaka, Mfumbwe. Honorable Daka has asked a question, and Honorable Kambita has asked a question. You can proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. On the cost of each mini hospital, I think I'll ask the infrastructure man Assistant Director Infrastructure from Ministry of Health to just answer that part. Even the second one on the breakdown of the 4 million kwacha. Dollars, sorry. I'm sorry.
Where's the Assistant Director Infrastructure? Assistant Director. PhD, you can sit. We are not done with you. Sit there. The one next to you, please, you can give him space to. It's Mr. Myambanko, the Assistant Director. Tell us the cost of each of these.
Thank you very much, Chair. Through my PS, let me first address maybe the question of the cost of one mini hospital. At time of contracting these projects, the cost of one mini hospital was 1 million, thereabout. Then we also had, of course, dollars. Then we also had 5 level 1 hospitals in the same contract, all of which was $300 million put together. So I think that one answers that one. And
so you have not answered, Mr. Myamba. The mean hospital was 1 million.
Yes.
What about the level 1? The 4 level 1, how much was each?
The level 1 hospitals, Honorable Chair, was at $25 million each at the time. 5.
Okay. There's a follow-up. Honorable Dak asked a question. We can proceed to that question.
May I beg to be reminded of the question, Honorable?
Honorable Dak, rephrase.
Thank you, Chair. Mine was, I think somehow indirectly he has responded to it, because there are these 4 remaining mini hospitals. So I was asking whether the $4 million would be sufficient to construct the 4 remaining. So from the arithmetics, if he's saying 1 is $1 million, which means 4 is $4 million.
Sure. Thank you, Honorable. Maybe before we proceed, because it's the last question from Honorable Kambita, which is not answered. PS can proceed with that question.
Thank you, Chair. You asked on the basis of payment whether we were paying according to the IPC. I'll ask the same Assistant Director to just explain. I'm calling all of them Honorable because I didn't get those details, but we sat to go through most of the responses. So I need all of them to just assist me in responding.
Thank you. Is that a question, Honorable Kamit? They have not answered the question.
I want to amplify my question, Chair.
Again.
Just to be clear. Permanent Secretary, I'll refer you to page 10 of the document which we are considering right now. And I think this is where my question emanates from. The last paragraph indicates even dates. I'll read through to be clear. As at 31st August 2023, there were 101 health centers, in brackets mini hospitals, that had been completed. 10 were under construction, while construction works had not commenced for 4. Please take note of that. Health centers in Rufanyama, Mpongwe, Lusaka, and Mfumbwe. In addition, medical and other equipment, including laboratory and theater equipment valued at $42,000 had not been delivered to 17 mini hospitals. Further, 5 mini hospitals received non-functional equipment worth $10,800. Now, when the auditors reviewed the situation on page 11, a review of the situation carried out in April 2025 revealed that the contractor had been paid amounts totaling to $299 million out of a contract of $300 million, okay, leaving a balance of only $1 million for retention. So, my question is emanating from this situation. How then was the contractor paid up to close to 300 million when we still had even some pieces of infrastructure not yet commenced?
Thank you. Honorable Mwamba can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. In your submission on page 11, it states that the committee may wish to note that the 4 unconstructed mini hospitals still remain. This status has been created by the claim made by the contractor that they incurred VAT expenses on the project to amounts totaling $4 million. The claim for VAT refund was raised by the contractor as far back as 4th April 2022. Controlling officer, there is this 4 million claim on VAT. Firstly, where is the evidence of this particular 4 million? And can you explain to this committee who is responsible for the settlement of the VAT component? I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. PS, you can proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. On the VAT component, I'll start with the last question. The Ministry of Finance, the Treasury was contacted. They're the ones who are supposed to fund us so that we can later on pay the contractor. So the VAT is supposed to be paid when Ministry of Finance funds us. But how the contractor came up with this claim, they left out 4 unconstructed mini hospitals because their total VAT amounted to 4 million, the amount which was meant to complete. But our infrastructure ministry will just come in to explain what transpired at that.
Because PS, I think from what you submitted, I do understand, Honorable Kambita. It's like you pay someone almost the full amount, but they've not completed. What recourse do you have that they'll finish the remaining mean hospitals, as it were? Because you've paid them $299 million remaining with. Maybe also just explain: were these funded by? Is it government funding? Or what is this funding?
Thank you very much, Chair. These funds actually came through a loan, which we paid out. But for the explanation of why we paid this full amount, we had a claim from the same contractors of $4 million, which they claimed that they have incurred VAT. So when paying them, we paid the full amount because we catered for the $4 million. So we intend to recover that $4 million when Ministry of Finance fund us. That's the situation on the ground. So I asked for the engineer from Ministry of Infrastructure to explain further on whether IPCs amounting to this amount were given.
I think for me, before Honorable Daka comes in, PS, just give us a bit of information over this aforesaid contract, because I'm getting. It's a loan from who? Who's the contractor? What is the status as we speak now? What's the progress which has been done on this aforesaid project? What is outstanding? Then now that those VAT issues can come in, so that we just have a basis. Honorable Daka.
Chairman, I think it's in the same vein. We as a committee would want to find out, PS, what does the contract provide for with regards to retention? Because if we reading from the submission of $1 million retention on a contract worth $300 million, I mean, in Zambia, common practice that the retention normally is 10% of the contract sum. So if you just do a simple arithmetics to that effect, you can't get $1 million. So we want to find out as a committee, how are the provisions in the contract? In fact, it would be prudent, Chair, that we should be privy to the contents of the contract, so that maybe that's when we understand, because contracts take different dimensions. But the common practice in Zambia is that retention is paid at 10%. 5% is paid at substantial completion, and then after the defect liability period, you expect to pay the remaining 5%. So, Chair, I think it would be important to that effect that PS avails to us the contract of the aforementioned mini hospitals and the other district hospitals. Chair, I submit.
Thank you, Honorable Mkumbi.
Chair, I just want to get clarification from the PS here. PS, the contract sum was $300 million. VAT claim is $4 million. What is 16% of 300 million? Because I believe VAT in Zambia is 16%, isn't it? 16%. Now, in your response, you are saying, further, you may wish to note that the contract, at contract signing, the project was VAT or VAT exclusive. So the whole 300 million was VAT exclusive. Then they are demanding only 4 million VAT. It's not adding up. It's a little bit confusing. So I don't know where this 4 million is coming from. How did they just decide to say, okay, we're not going to build these 3 or 4 mini hospitals because we have paid 4 million VAT to. So it's a bit confusing. Probably, Chair, we need more clarification from the PS on this one. Thank you.
Honorable Wamnyima, then PS can answer the question.
Thank you, Chair. It's a bit difficult to understand what was going on here. I hope contracts that we see it. I just want to understand the gentleman who said to each one hospital costs $1 million. Can you do the breakdown from this 300 million? Do the breakdown. 300 million, 101 health center mini hospitals are built. Then you have 3 district hospitals. Because I don't understand why you're saying they cost 1 million. Just the decision to say I want to build 3 is being informed by what? So if each mini hospital costs 1 million, as he is saying, then the contractor owes you money. So maybe just give a breakdown on what is the cost of 1 mini hospital. So if the 1 million is the cost of 1 mini hospital, the contractor owes you money. Why is he claiming VAT? So can we understand what you're saying?
Thank you. PS, you can proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll ask Mr. Myambango to explain, but just to assure the committee that we have the contract, we'll be able to avail it to the committee. Yes.
Thank you. You can proceed. Myambango, you can proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Thank you very much, PS. May I start with the last question, as which is asking about the breakdown of the items in the contract. This contract was of 115 mini hospitals and 5 level 1 hospitals. These were dotted around the country, and the whole was costed at 300 million. So maybe on that one, it could just have been an aggregation of all the costs put together, because level 1s cost something else and the mini hospitals also cost another thing. So for me to come up with an exact breakdown now, I may not be able to do so, but I can avail that document later. And what also appears in this paper is not the final, because here it says 105, is it that? But we altogether had 115 mini hospitals, together with the 5 level 1s. This also included the equipping, because the funding that was being obtained from UK Export Finance was for a 10-key project. 10-key meaning everything inclusive, construction and equipping. So that, of course, breaking down would require some documentation to be presented. Of course, we can provide the same, and with your indulgence, maybe for that one we could be excused for now. But suffice to just say the breakdown of the same was equal to what was being presented. If I may be allowed to proceed.
Mike, Director, Honorable Wamnyima, what's your point of?
Chair, first of all, the Director must then withdraw his statement that each mini hospital costs 1 million, which is submitted before this committee. We should start from there. Then secondly, he can't say the cost is equal to what has been given. Given where? If a contractor says, I want to build 3 because you owe me VAT, what is informing him to say that the cost of those mini hospitals is 4 million, which is equal to his VAT? What is the issue here with? So I think the submission needs to be the submission needs to be taken serious. He has submitted that it's 1 million. Let him withdraw, since now he's saying he doesn't know. It's an aggregation of the 5 district hospitals, 115 mini hospitals. But what we want to know, the failure to construct the 3 is being informed by what mathematics?
Thank you. The Director, Assistant Director Infrastructure. Please stop misleading the committee. Stick to your facts and the submissions which are made. Even as you answer, we've given you that immunity for you to give us factual information. But if you start misleading yourself and want to mislead this committee, you've appeared before this committee before. So Honorable Amnima has asked a follow-up question on what he asked. What is informing you? Honorable Mkumbi asked his question. Please address those 2 questions. Then Honorable Mwamba, you ask, and Honorable Daka. Yeah, you can proceed through the PS.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think I did not exactly mention that each of those 4 uncommenced projects was 1 million each. To lend credit to the same, I wish to say that.
Let me guide him, Honorable Amnima. When we asked you here, how much was the cost? I've written here. You said it's $1 million per main hospital. So if 25 million for a district hospital. So if you have 4 remaining, how much is the cost, Mr. Myambango? It's $4 million. That's why now how are you again departing from your own submission? Then now you are confusing us. That's why you were asked a question which you've submitted is $1 million per main hospital. Even just a bystander, if you ask them, so if 4 remaining, what will be the cost? It's 4 million. There's not a rocket science. It's 4 million. It's 4 multiplied by $1 million. It's 4 million. It's simple as that. So please just be consistent with what you're submitting. What was your question again, Honorable Mkumbi? Just speak through the mic.
It was on VAT. The contract sum was $300 million. And the VAT being claimed here from government is just 4. It's a bit confusing. So, you should be telling us to say, of the 300 million, the following equipment were probably VAT free or whatever, but there's no such a thing. So if the contract was 300 million, what is 16% of 300 million? Or what is informing this 4 million that this person is claiming? It's coming from where? And that's my question, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, Honorable Mwamba, you want to ask?
It's on the same line with Honorable Mukumbi. Page 11 states, further, you may wish to note that at the contract signing, the project was VAT exclusive. Now the same report just before that goes to say, the claim for VAT refund was raised by the contractor as far back as 4th April 2022. So when signing the contract, it was VAT exclusive. Even all the payment certificates issued on the projects have held the status of VAT exclusiveness. So how now do we add the VAT component when all along we were VAT exclusive? So which is which? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Wamima.
Chair, for me, I don't understand anything going on. First of all, this contract sum of one hospital can't be 1 million. So, when a contractor says, I am not building 4 because you owe me 4 million, where is he getting this That is the question. Where is he getting this? Because if you say 5 mini hospitals, 5 district hospitals at the cost of 25 plus 115 million, when you add that plus equipment, you won't come to paying 299 million and remain with 1 million for retention. Yeah, so for me, I want to understand this decision to say 4 million VAT and 4 hospitals won't be built. It's, what is the, first of all, why is it, what is accruing to this? That's the explanation we need. Because first of all, Chair, the gentleman who was submitting behind has told you that it is not 1 million. He said it was 1 million, he's changed, it was not 1 million. It is plus what is here. So this plus what is here, the payment of 299 out of a contract sum of 300, you've paid over 95%. So where this 4 million of VAT, what is the issue?
Thank you, Honorable Daka. Just hold. I don't want you to bombard them with a lot of questions. Honorable Mkumbi's question is still pending. So can the Director of Finance answer Honorable Mkumbi's question, VAT related? Because it's VAT related. What is the VAT component over 300 million? Because that's VAT related. Then Honorable Wamunyima, the same Assistant Director, need to answer. So maybe let's proceed with the VAT, take it off. Please, then Honorable Daka, you just come after this question. Thank you. You can proceed.
Thanks. Thank you, Chair. Thanks, PS. The VAT component on a 300 is 4.8 million. But I suppose because VAT was introduced on the project when it was already in progress, I believe the contractor just assumed those expenses which were incurred when VAT was introduced. I submit.
Director of Finance, if you say you think, well then we're at sea, because what is informing you on the cutoff, when was that done? It doesn't hold. It's 48 million if it's 16%. 300 million, what is 16%? That is a VAT component. So now I'm asking, we are saying no, maybe when it was introduced. Be factual, tell us what transpired. Anyway, honorable answer, proceed.
Chair, as you can look at this, it is a claim from the contractor which was submitted to Ministry of Finance and is not even yet approved. So that's what the contractor claimed, that they incurred VAT. I think we can, it is still a claim.
If you remember, you can switch off the mic. If you remember, Honorable Kamita, that's why I was asking, how was this contract structured? What was the source of funding? Was it more or less like an ECP contract where the money is brought by the contractor? What were the conditions? Okay, because it was a loan. I'll come with money, build, then government pays me back. Yes, so that's why I was asking, because we wanted to have those nitty-gritties and understand it. So essentially, PS, is it so your submission that the contractor was only claiming $4.8 million as VAT incurred or suffered? What was a claim from a contractor in terms of VAT?
Thank you, Chair. Actually, he claimed 4 million, but what we haven't done is to analyze and see whether that 4 million is commensurate to the rate of VAT that we have as in our country. So he just claimed 4 million, and for us, what we did, we just wrote to Ministry of Finance to verify whether this 4 million can be paid as VAT. So that's where we are. We haven't paid it yet. He claimed 4 million, and we escalated it to the the Treasury to find out whether this 4 million is actually what it's supposed to get.
Honorable Daka.
Chair, we are just belaboring for nothing here, Chair, because you see, the contract, I have a contract in my hands right now. Chair, this contract, to me, is not just a contract. This is just a form of agreement. It's not a contract, because the it's very basic. The appendices are not here, Chair, for us to check whatever we are belaboring on. Because one, appendices are not there. Appendix 1, scope of works, not attached. Price summary, Chair, and details not attached. So what kind of a contract is this? Because when we ask for things, Chair, we want to see how the contract was couched, so that some certain things that we're asking, we don't necessarily need to ask them, because we're able to read and analyze. So, Chair, if we ask for a contract and only to be given this, I don't know what you can call it. Basically, it's not fair.
Thank you. PS, let's have that contract, the scope of work attached, the breakdown in terms of pricing attached. Let's have that tomorrow without fail. Then, honorable colleagues will proceed, will suspend this thing, this particular query, so that information is provided. Then we can make some progress. Yeah, so that we can make progress, as it were. So, honorable Kambito.
Yes, Chairperson, just to augment your guidance to the witness, I suggest that the witness makes a submission in writing so that we can account for the responses to all these hanging questions which we have raised. I'm sure they have taken note of the questions we raised, because we cannot conclude if all these questions remain hanging. So I suggest that even as they come, they should not just come with responses verbally. They should probably make a submission written, and that will help us to account for the answers. I submit.
Thank you, Honorable Mnyima.
Chair, by all standards, this submission is unacceptable. You can't submit something in writing and be on the mic and introduce a new submission. What do we take? It's not, this whole part here, they need to submit. What, based on, to coordinate what they are saying. Others are saying, I think it was 4.8. So we don't want what you think. Be specific. What was it? Because these are public funds. They need to really resubmit on this particular issue.
Thank you, Honorable Mnyima. Honorable colleagues, PS, I think the issues which you need to make your resubmission as you come and provide that information, especially for this construction of district hospitals plus the main hospitals, the contract, scope of work, breakdown of costs, as it were, in essence fully fledged contract. Then also you need to also make us understand, I think, the issue of VAT, the component of VAT was, especially Director of Finance, I don't know why this is difficult. PS, if someone writes to me to tell me that the contract is 300 million, they're claiming VAT of 4 million, I'll ask them, this is based on what? They submit invoices. Is it their consumables during the, because it doesn't go to 48 million. If it's for the project, it's 48 million, and they should substantiate it by supporting documents. But if those are not provided, then how do we even write to the ministry to claim that we pay them the VAT and they're refusing to pay, because the contract will stipulate? Imagine I'm claiming VAT, because these people bring these fundings. They'll be claiming VAT on they buy a vehicle they are using, they go and buy things in ShopRite, they are keeping receipts for the entire cost of the project, but not the actual project itself, because the actual project is not correlating. It should be 48 million, 16% of 300 million, if it's embedded in that. So those are things we need. That's why I want the contract. Let's understand the scope of work. Let's understand the price breakdown. Is there a VAT component on what? You find there be no VAT component, which your officers should know, because they were signing these contracts. You know from who's the contract manager, even Department of Infrastructure, or is it yourself, Mr. Miyambang? So these are things he should know, because if he has a contract, you know off cuff to say that contract, NMS contract, this is the VAT component. When I'm asked, I answer VAT component was this. Okay, why did they claim 4 million? No, claim 4 million actually was not for the project. Maybe it was this type of equipment which is VATable. It's simple as that. So we want those information for that. Then issue of a contract for supply or delivery of 3 X-ray machines. Also provide information, because we didn't have any clear-cut answer on that one. Yeah, the bonds also should be provided for the 7 million. That is to do with the cancer hospital. Then we also arrange that we go and see the cancer hospital. We'll go and see the progress which has been made, and also the recoveries for the advance payment. I think that is also needed. Yeah, then the Directorate of Preventive Maintenance should come tomorrow with Dr. Khan, so that we clear the project managers can tell us I think some of those issues. The progress hasn't been good because answers have been not provided consistently. It's back and forth, and it creates, the flow becomes a bit of a problem. So that is where we're at. Okay. Yeah, so PS, I think for now that's a guidance. And honorable colleagues, I suggest that we suspend this one so that we give them ample time to work on it. Maybe they bring it on Thursday, deal with smart care, which is what paragraph 9, so that maybe we see if we can, because if we tell them go back, they come back with this resubmission, I think they won't do a proper job. So let's do smart care tomorrow. We do submission, then we do the questioning, as it were. Yeah. So PS, thank you so much with your team. There are a lot of issues, PS, you need to work on. I think in conclusion we'll come and speak, but you can see that the flow of information, there's not so much trail that we can connect. Is trying to take pieces from here, and explanations are not consistent, submissions are not consistent. What has been submitted from your submission and the oral submission, they're contradicting. This is only supposed to be amplified and provide support, which is documental evidence. Then now we just look at the same, correspond to each other, then we can make progress. Some of the things, there are straightforward things. If you're part of the procurement of X-ray machines, detectors issues, we should be known. This is the issue, it's warranted, there's no warranty, you tell us. You are dealing with sensitive things, medical equipment, you tell us. You are the custodians, you should know and convince this honorable committee beyond measure to say this is opposition, this is what we do, and this is what happens moving forward. So we'll proceed with that paragraph tomorrow, be guided, but you need to go and relook at that, and some of the inconsistencies in paragraph 28 which we've not tackled moving forward, if you need to relook at them, provide solid evidence so that as you come we can make progress, as it were. So we do thank you, PS, most sincerely, together with your team, for coming before this honorable committee. We'll adjourn for now, and we'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 to continue with paragraph 9. We stand adjourned and immunity has been lifted. PS, thank you so much. We are free to go.
Thank you very much, Chair, and we take your counsel. We promise we're going to look at the responses and bring them tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, PS.
Being with us on Parliament Television, the Public Accounts Committee has adjourned, and making an appearance before the committee was the Ministry of Health, led by the Permanent Secretary Administration, Ms. Joma Simuyi. And the Ministry of Health is still expected to make an appearance before the committee tomorrow. That's for the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of the Republic for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. Keep watching Parliament Television.